Welcome to the Great Basin Seasonal Outlook for November through February. Over the last 30 days, we've seen cooler than normal temperatures across most of the Great Basin, especially over the southern two-thirds of the region, and also very wet conditions due to a storm that brought significant amounts of precipitation, especially to the Sierra, into northern and western Nevada, and also over parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. Many of these areas saw precipitation well above normal for the time of year. The only exceptions were down south over parts of southern Nevada, parts of the Arizona Strip, which either saw near or below normal precipitation, and also parts of central Idaho and northwest Wyoming. Since October 1st, the beginning of the water year, so just really the last 30 days, again, very similar picture to what you just saw for the last 30 days. Currently, we have no large incidents across the Great Basin and just a few large incidents along the west coast. And our current snowpack, due to the large storm that brought us significant amounts of higher elevation snowfall, we are seeing snowpack well above normal for the time of year for all of the Great Basin. This does not show the Sierra. However, looking at the Sierra Nevada near the Lake Tahoe area, you can see the black line indicating the snowpack for this year is right near maximum of all time for the time of year. So again, a pretty historic storm that struck in October, bringing a few new feet of new snow to the higher terrain and also several inches of lower elevation rainfall. So very wet period for a couple of days in October due to that storm. Soil moistures are obviously now not quite as dry as they have been with that increase in moisture, especially in Northern California and into parts of the northern half of the Great Basin. Our ERC charts are showing ERCs below normal, really area-wide. The only exception would be in the far or parts of the north in central Idaho that have been drier. ERCs are near normal, but again, still low for the time of year. 10-hour fuel moisture remains high, especially across the western half of the Great Basin, and 100 and 1,000-hour fuel moisture are also on the rise with the increase in moisture we have recently seen. The Evaporative Demand Drought Index shows us our short-term changes in drought or our flash drought. Obviously, no concerns across the Great Basin with the recent moisture. However, looking at our longer-term drought, we still have significant drought to deal with. We are in such a deficit for precipitation. Even the rainfall and snow we've seen recently is certainly not anywhere near enough to get us out of drought conditions, but we have seen some areas improve over parts of northern Nevada and Idaho, but still many areas of the Great Basin experiencing extreme to exceptional drought. We will likely see some improvements in the drought, especially over the northern half of the area, going into the next couple of months as storm systems will bring periods of cooler temperatures and precipitation. Areas in the far south, again, not really expecting as much precipitation down there, so probably little changes in the drought over the southern areas of the Great Basin over the next few months. So now putting everything together, we'll talk a little bit about La Nina and El Nino. We have transitioned back into La Nina. So this is our second season of La Nina after being neutral here through most of the fire season. So what that is meaning for us is generally just staying in La Nina here going through the winter months and expecting some warming of the ocean temperatures as we approach the next fire season. So we will see a wetter than normal, at least early start to the winter season or late fall, and then we could see some drier periods before moisture returns later in the season. So looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from the November 5th through the 11th, showing generally near normal temperatures over the western half of the Great Basin and warmer temperatures over towards the east. But you can see from the moisture, we are expecting additional storms to bring us moisture starting today and also periodically through the rest of the month. Our better chances for above normal precipitation will remain over the northern half of the Great Basin, with again not quite as much moisture as you move further south, with drier conditions in the southwest. And this is more indicative of La Nina. This is typically the pattern we would see with La Nina, with wetter conditions the further north you go towards the Pacific Northwest and drier down towards the southwest. Looking at our 4-month outlook from Predictive Services, again, we are looking at those wetter conditions over the northern half of the region in the Great Basin in northwest and northern California going through November. And then even into December, we may see some drying going into the middle portion of the winter months, and then possibly a reemergence of some wetter conditions later in the season. This is certainly pointing towards a good scenario for our snowpack over the northern half of the area, so we'll continue to monitor this and look at our precipitation patterns going through the next few months. Temperature-wise, generally warmer down south, but we could have some cooler storms, especially going towards January and February. Now looking at the Climate Prediction Center, their 1-month outlook for November, again, better chances of moisture up north and drier down south, with either near normal or warm temperatures, but we will see those temperatures fluctuate throughout November. We are expecting several storm systems to move through the area, and they do look like they will get stronger and colder as we get towards mid to late November, so we could see those temperatures really start to cool as we go towards the second half of the month. And then December through February, not really much change in the temperatures, but really warmer down south, cooler up north. And then again, those above normal precipitation chances are most likely over the northern half of the Great Basin. So putting everything together, we're just expecting normal conditions going through the next several months, which would be low fire activity for all areas of the Great Basin, especially with these new signs of moisture moving in and colder temperatures at times. That concludes our monthly seasonal outlook. Check back next month for the latest updates.